Hello my sweet friends, welcome to DIY with Nadia and welcome to another Wreath Wednesday. I took a poll on my community tab this week and 47% of you wanted to see a cupcake liner wreath. So I am starting with these cupcake liners. I'm not sure which ones I'm going to use for which wreath. But I just wanted to show you, these are all from the Dollar Tree. No joke. I have never seen this many and this, just different types of prints and stuff. All right, let's get started on the wreath. Okay, for the first one, I'm going to be using the zebra one and the red. The pink is not gonna show, but look how pretty this is gonna look. And so there's 50 pieces in each one. I'm fairly sure we're not gonna use all of these for this technique. It looks like this red one is a little smaller. Yeah, it is. I just put it in. You could tell that the red one is a little bit smaller, which is fine because this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to fold this in half. And I'm going to cut along the pink line. You could do the same thing with this one. Fold it in half and just cut along this line right here. So I'm going to go ahead and cut a few of these up and I'll be right back. These are each 25 and these are each 25 and I still have a little bit of the 25s left. All right, I have some liners cut up. Let's get started. I'm going to show you two ways you can do this. So the first way is you're just going to put this around just like that. On the back, you're going to overlap these just like this. But I'm paying more attention not to the tails, but to the top. Here's what I mean. I want this to be straight. The top of my cupcake liner to be straight because that is how we're going to go around. On the back, it's going to get a little bit cross-eyed because this is, it's not a straight line that you're working with here. So the first option you have is just take a little pin, just like you saw me put in, and put the pin in, and then cut the extra off. For option 2, dab of hot glue. I'm going to hot glue my first one, and dab of hot glue to seal it in. And my first little circle is done. So if you're more comfortable with pins, I just don't have enough pins for this. And I think pins are such an easy way to do this. So I highly recommend using the pins. But if you have small kids or, you don't want to use pins, that's fine too. Just hot glue it in place. The most important part is how it looks in the front. So I want to make sure that it looks nice in the front. Bring this over. Hot glue in place. Now that our wreath is done, I'm going to make a bow. I'm starting with a piece of grosgrain ribbon, measuring out how big I want it, and I'm going to hot glue it together, just overlapping it a little bit. Next, if you want, you could hot glue it in place. And that is what I'm going to do. And then I'm hot gluing it in place in the front also. Hot gluing it in place is definitely optional, but I'm doing it because I want my bow to stay in place. I'm going to be using all grosgrain ribbon for my bow. The red and the white are both 5/8 of an inch wide. And then this black one is 1/2 inch wide, and I just got this one at the Dollar Tree. Starting with the white because that's what's going to give us a nice background, I'm going to make a simple bow. I'm going to bring it together with a needle and thread. Just thread it through once to the back and back to the front. Okay, I'm going to leave it at that. Next, I have my red one. And I'm going to make this one a tiny bit smaller. Just make sure the tails are long enough. And I'm just doing this by eye. It doesn't have to be anything complicated. Also bring it through right here. And once again, I'm going to go with my needle and thread to the back and back to the front. Loop it and lock it in place. Okay, I just knotted it a few times. Now we're just going to grab a piece of the black. Okay, as you can see, the tails still want to go to the side. We are going to fix that problem. We're going to start with the top. We're going to bring it down. In the back, a little dollop of glue, tiny bit, and hold it in place. Next, I'm going to go to the white between the bow and the tail. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to bring it down. Oop. Dollop of glue, just a tiny bit, and hold it in place where you want it. Do you see how this one is going straight while these guys are going to the curb? All right, we're going to do the same thing here. Little dollop of glue, and we're going to bring it down. We're going to hot glue it in place right on top.
For this week's Nadia's Wreath Wednesday, I'm being joined by my very sweet friend Wendy from White Sparrow Living, Luke 12:6. Not only is she a very sweet friend of mine, but also a beautiful, godly woman. On her channel, you can find some gorgeous farmhouse DIYs that are bright, spiritual, and you can find them for the whole year, for every season. And if by any chance you haven't heard of her, I will link her channel in the description box below. Please check her out and subscribe to her. You will not regret it. And if you're coming from Wendy's channel, welcome. Here on DIY with Nadia, we love budget-friendly DIYs, and mostly, we love wreaths. Now, let's get started on the second wreath.
For this cupcake liner wreath, I'm going to be using this foam wreath from the Dollar Tree. Some red, some white cups, and then I am going to use this one, and this is going to be kind of like the print. And this one you can do two ways. So option one, find the center kind of approximately and kind of bring it together like a little flower, and I just push a pencil or a pen, something like that. Make sure if you're using a pencil, it's not sharp. And I just bring it together. And all you have to do is get that little tip right there. Grab a pin and pin it. This is one way of doing it. Another way, I guess the harder way, is just hot glue it in place. Same process. Just hot glue it in place, and it's going to fill up so nicely. Find the center approximately, bring it together, make a little, kind of like a little foot, so you have something to hot glue it with, or, you know, whatever you're going to do. And then I'm going to first do one. I'm just going to kind of start spreading it out. Then I'm going to start adding the red. This is so easy. You could do this with your kids. I mean, this is mega, mega fun. So I thought I was going to add this one, but you know what? This is a little bit foiled. That's why it's thicker. It's foiled. And it looks more gray than white in it. So I'm going to take this out. And what I'm going to do is, I mean, I have a lot of these. I have 100 altogether. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill up as much as I could. And then I am going to put this red in between here and there. And so the main print is going to be this one with this one. So super easy. and so much fun. I am almost done with the wreath, and it looks so pretty and full. I decided to put the ribbon on before I finished this, so I'm just going to measure out some of this grosgrain. Nice dollop of hot glue. Make sure you use Gorilla Glue to make sure it stays in place. Okay, make sure you use Gorilla Glue so this stays in place really well. Before hot gluing the second part to the back of the wreath, be aware of where your outside edge is to see how far you want your hook to be. Because we always kind of eye from the actual wreath, but here there's a lot of poof going on. And when that cools, I'm just going to cut the little tail off. And now I can continue gluing this, and I can actually hot glue on top of this if I wanted to, but I'm going to work around it. Okay, so here is the final project. It has a lot of blues, greens, red is pretty prominent because of the red cupcake liners I was using. But you can definitely see the colors from this cupcake liner here. And at the end of the day, I think it turned out absolutely stunning. This was so easy. Your kids can do it. Just choose the colors that you want for whatever holiday you're doing, and it will be beautiful.